You know that when we killed Anwar al-Awlaki, who is a United States citizen who was living in Yemen, who we believe was working with Al-Qaeda, we had no due process. We did not put him on trial. We did not even indict him and present any evidence in any court. We summarily executed an American citizen abroad because the government decided that he was a threat. Now, a question that arose was, who decided that? Well, now we have the answer. According to Reuters, who talked to several people inside the government who have knowledge of this issue, there is apparently a panel that is a subset of the White House's National Security Council who decides who goes on the list. Did you get that? It's not the president, it's not the vice president. It's a subset of a National Security Council panel. Wow. Okay. So here's how it works. They target the recommendations that are drawn up by this committee of mid-level national security level operatives, National Security Council operatives. Then, there is another check, not just the mid-level guys. Then they bring those recommendations up to the agency officials called the NSC, meaning National Security Council principals, which includes some cabinet secretaries and intelligence unit chiefs. Okay, so the mid-level guys figure out who to kill. The slightly higher level guys go, okay, go ahead and kill them. But wait a minute, where's the president in all this, right? Well, it turns out that they asked, or they informed the president. They don't even ask him. They inform the president, this is who we've chosen to kill. But out of the infinite mercy of their heart, if the president objects, they might take the guy off the list. Well, are they not merciful? Wow, we really appreciate that. By the way, their legal justifications for this are, quote, secret. So what do you base this on? It's secret. But they have two theories that they are, at least on background with anonymous sources, are willing to put out there as this might be among the legal reasons why we're allowed to do this. This is funny. You ready for that? One, they say, well, back in after 9/11, Congress passed a bill saying that we could fight our enemies in any way we like. Well, that's not quite what it said, but that's how they're interpreting it and saying, well, we've decided that American citizen is an enemy and the president can kill him in any way he likes without any due process. That's not much of a check on the president or these mid-level guys who's putting people on the kill list at all. Their second legal theory is even more comical. It's under international law, they are allowed to, the country is allowed to defend itself. Yeah, okay, but you can't just say, well, you know, the country can defend itself, so I decided that I'm going to murder that guy and that girl. But wait, you have to do due process. They're U.S. citizens. No, I don't. I can defend myself, and I have summarily decided. I'm sorry. The mid-level agency people have summarily decided to put them on a list. Now, I say summarily because it seems like al-Awlaki, they claimed in public, was so dangerous, was not just an inspirational leader, but they said an operational leader. But they never presented the evidence. They never presented their legal justifications, and their intelligence assessment is, quote, undisclosed. So did they have the goods on al-Awlaki? I was very skeptical, as you remember if you watched the show when they killed him, right? So here's what Reuters says. Here's a quote. The Obama administration has not made public an accounting of the classified evidence that al-Awlaki was operationally involved in planning terrorist attacks. So they have never said in public how he was actually involved in Al-Qaeda. Okay, but they probably have some good stuff on him behind the scenes, right? Here's another quote from the Reuters piece. But officials acknowledged that some of the intelligence purporting to show al-Awlaki's hands-on role in plotting attacks was patchy. How you like them apples? So if you're an American citizen abroad and they have patchy evidence on you that a mid-level official decided is good enough, you go on a list and the president can take you off the list if he's informed. By the way, why do they not involve the president in this process? Because they want to, quote, protect them politically, okay? Which is grotesque. If I'm the president of the United States, I don't order the execution of U.S. citizens without any due process. And say, hey, I don't want to do it. I'll let the mid-level guys do it as long as some of the cabinet guys agree. Just don't let me know, because then I might be politically responsible. That's sick. Now, al-Awlaki was linked to two different terrorist bombings. So they said, well, or attempted bombings. So they said, well, he must be guilty, right? There was a Christmas Day bomber. His name is Abdul Muttalib. And then there was a guy that tried to a British Airways employee who tried to put bombs on a plane headed to the U.S. They said, oh, well, those things he was connected to. And I was like, well, they never showed evidence. Well, get a load of this now. Here's Reuters reporting. intercepts involving a phone known to have been used by al-Awlaki and someone who they believed but were not positive was Abdul Muttalib. That's the evidence they have linking him to the Christmas Day bomber. He talked to a guy we're not really positive was al-Awlaki. That's why they never indicted him. Because if you brought this to a court and said, I'd like to execute a guy because there's a guy we think he's connected to, but we're not really sure, they'd throw you, they'd laugh. Even if he didn't show up in court, all you want to do is indict him, they wouldn't let you do that. But they say, oh, no, he's got to be connected to the second guy, right? Well, get a load of this. Turns out they don't have anything there either. They say that guy, the guy we caught trying to put bombs on the planes, was talking to his brother in Yemen. But they think that his brother was sitting next to al-Awlaki. But they don't really know. Here's a quote on that. But there was strong suspicion al-Awlaki was at the brother's side when the messages were dispatched. Strong suspicion? You don't even know he was there. It turns out the evidence they had on him was terrible. That he was operationally involved with Al-Qaeda and giving orders to do these bombings. They think he might have been with the brother, but they're not sure. And he might have talked to the Christmas Day bomber, but they're not at all sure. We executed the guy. He was a U.S. citizen. I'm not on his side because I know the stuff he said in public. In public, he encouraged all of this and he talked about how Al-Qaeda was on the right side and killing U.S. Citizens was generally a good thing to do and it was a heroic thing to do. I don't like al-Awlaki. That doesn't mean we should murder him. In order to put a death sentence on him, we have to be sure that he actually took criminal acts against us, actually tried to kill our U.S. citizens. Just saying something doesn't warrant a death penalty, especially for a U.S. citizen.